Good day, YouTubers. This is video 14 in my series of videos on Ontario Northland models in HO. And this is just a quick overview of everything that we've looked at so far. So apologies for the shaky camera work here, but this is just me trying to use a handhold and to take a look at everything on my display shelf. So what we took a look at first was what Cox brought to market. So their GP9 model, their F3A, their 40-foot boxcar, and their caboose. We then took a look at Lionel's product line for Ontario Northland, their GP9, their 40-foot boxcar, and their caboose. We also took a look at Pemco's attractive F7A. Hang on for a second as I go back down to the start of the next shelf here. We took a look at Atlas's RS3s, starting with their most vintage version here, 1301 in front of you. Their retooling of the RS2 in the 2000s, 1307, the classic Ontario Northland paint scheme. And then they offered their RS3 in the Chevron version as well, in two different road numbers, 1308 and 1306. We also took a look at the single 4-bay gondola that was brought to market by IHC, and the bulk end flat car as was brought to market by Concours. Going back down the shelf once again, we talked about some of the other early models that were available for Ontario Northland modelers, but they had to custom paint. Popular model being the FP7A by Atlas, which was produced by Rocco of Austria, and the GP40, also produced by Atlas via Rocco of Austria. We took a look at model power freight cars that were brought to market. We've got these, the more vintage 40-foot box cars here, cars number 90710, and in the progressive scheme, 90075. Those were built by Model Power, but manufactured by Play Art in Hong Kong. Then we've got these later released 2-bay covered hoppers. And finally, from Model Power, this other 40-foot boxcar. Now, starting at the back of the shelf here, talking about classic lifelike models. They offered this bright Ontario Northland caboose, a 40-foot gondola, a 3-bay hopper, a 40-foot boxcar in the blue Chevron scheme, and a 40-foot boxcar in the green progressive scheme. In regards to locomotives, they brought to market an F7A and a GP38-2. We then talked about roundhouse and Athearn kits. So starting here with the Athearn 40-foot boxcar kits. On the lower shelf we see the Ontario Development Road scheme and the two cars that they brought to market. And on the next shelf up, some of the classic progressive scheme boxcar kits. 4 different road numbers available there. Then we get to the 4-bay hoppers, in which they had 3 different road numbers available. Only 2 of which I have on display here, because the other one is a kit yet to be built up. And then 2 gondolas, 5025 and 5186. And finally, their silver and red rear cupula cabooses. Dropping a shelf now, we're taking a look at the kits brought to market by Roundhouse. They had their rear cupula cabooses in the Chevron scheme. 2 different style of paint and numbering there. One has the numbering in the white, the other has it in the blue. I'm aware of another road number that I don't have in my collection. Then the 50-foot box cars, 7866 and 7605. Their classic 40-foot boxcar kit that they've released a few times, and I've got two examples out here. Cars number 90710 for both. Their 3-bay hopper, car number 6071. Their ore hoppers, classic short ore hoppers, car number, again, 6071. Now, there are a lot of other things that I look forward to talking about. I look forward to talking about these Rocco-produced TEE trains, beautifully done up for the Ontario Northland, and I have one in the original railway colors as well. I look forward to talking about the Proto 1000 RS2s and RS10s. There's been a large production number done of streamlined coaches by Rapido in the Chevron scheme. Both the day-nighter cars and the streamlined coach. I'll explain more about those when we get to them. Some baggage cars, some steam generator cars, some Proto 2000 GP38s, some Proto gondolas, and some Proto flat cars. Quite a few different road numbers available there. And down a shelf you can see the other Rapido coaches that I have, this time in the classic green scheme, and some Proto 2000 GP9s below that. Now moving back along the shelf, we'll be talking about Intermountain FP7As. They offered a few different road numbers in the Chevron scheme, as well as the classic green scheme. Actually, two different versions of the classic green scheme, as can be seen here. And on the bottom shelf here, a real prize in my collection that I look forward to talking to you guys more about, is a Markland version of the TEE train. Now we've already talked about what's on my counter here. A lot of these are kits that I haven't built up yet for Roundhouse and Athern, all of which we briefly mentioned already, aside from this gondola in front of you there, a Roundhouse product. Just additional road numbers from what you've seen above. I guess up above we didn't have an example of one of those later version Roundhouse 3-bay hoppers, so there's one there, and that was available in 3 different road numbers. And then these two different Bev Bell Athern 50-foot box cars, one in the progressive scheme and one in the later Chevron scheme. And in the last video we also talked about some of these custom painted items, that one being an RS10 that was built out of a Mahano RS11, a custom painted Roundhouse 3-bay gondola, and some very old version 40-foot custom box cars. Now, flipping up to the top shelf here, I really enjoy getting into some detail on box cars and hoppers. And Trueline Trains put out a large number of cars over the years, multiple productions of multiple car numbers, and as a result I've got quite a few to go to, so I look forward to going through them. And they also did 2 very nice cabooses, one which can be seen here, actually painted up in the earlier paint for the Temiskaming in Northern Ontario, and then taking you all the way back across, another version here the Ontario Northland silver and red paint scheme. So sorry if my video here has made you a little bit ill with all the movement, but as you can tell, I'm a real fanatic about Ontario Northland, and my display case here is full of it, and I look forward to showing you what you can see in front of you here and some more items that I don't have on display. Thanks for tuning into my videos, and I look forward to having another one up very soon.